welcome to our show Leigh Helberg, who is a breast cancer survivor and a member of the Avon Breast Cancer Crusade. Good morning, Leigh. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, Stacy. Thanks for having me on today.
Well, we were talking a little bit before this segment and just your story. I was reading it first and then just speaking with you about what you've been through. Your testimony, I think, is just incredible. Not only what you've gone through, but why people need to be proactive about being checked at an early age.
Absolutely. Anytime I hear about someone who doesn't want to get a mammogram or is afraid to get a mammogram, I worry for them because early stage is the best way to get it. I come from a long line of cancer. In my family on my father's side, in 3 generations, there are 5 women. We've all 5 had cancer. Wow. So I kind of knew it was headed my way. We found it when I was 39. In a routine mammogram. Wasn't there the year before. They checked me every year from the age of 30. So we caught it very early. All of my stuff was surgical, but I wound up having 5 surgeries, including a total hysterectomy, within about a year.
And just because it spread so quickly in just 1 year's time?
Well, it wasn't because it spread, it was because of the potential for spread. So when you are BRCA1, for those of us who know anything about genetic cancer, there are 2 different genes that seem to contribute, and I am in the BRCA1 category. When you're in BRCA1, there is more of a chance that it's going to move to your ovaries, and at the time I did have a cyst, so they just took everything.
Just to be safe? Just
to be safe.
Okay, before we move on, because there's obviously concerns you have for your own daughter, but for yourself, going through all those surgeries, you're cancer-free, but at the same time, the residual effects from what you've been through.
That's what people don't talk about too much. This is why Avon is so important, because they're giving to charities in Southern California that directly affect all of us. And what happens is, when the parade's over, when the ticker tape parade is over and everyone is cheered that you're cancer-free, life goes back to normal. But for those of us who have been through it, we're left with fallout problems that have to be monitored the rest of our lives. And unfortunately, like I said, I was 39. I met a gal in the hotel last night who was 33 and had 2 babies. And there's not really, they're used to treating breast cancer women that are in their 60s and their 70s that don't have active lives. I was a marathon runner who can no longer run marathons, which is why I'm happy to come out and test myself to walk 39 with everyone.
Now tell me, tomorrow you're going to be at this walk. Tell me about the atmosphere there, because
it is amazing. We talk about breasts like you wouldn't believe. I have never spoken so much about my breasts until I did the walk last year for the first time. It is a sisterhood that is unbelievable.
And I've been to some of the breast cancer walks, and it is just a sea of pink. And it is so much camaraderie.
It really is, and everybody is there for you. At the end, they do this amazing thing, which I was so blown away by. When we come in, if you're not a survivor, they give you a white t-shirt. And if you are, they give you a pink, which is exactly what I'm wearing today. And then they walk us all into the center of everyone. And it is, and then they're handing the checks to USC Norris, which is where I'm treated, UCLA, Cedars Sinai, John Wayne Medical. They're handing out these checks, and we know that even though we've been through all of this, it's for nothing. It's not for nothing.
It's not.
It's being passed forward.
And I think too, you have, you know, we're going to show a map of where you'll all be walking tomorrow, but I think breast cancer touches so many people. My aunt died of it, and both my mom and her sister have had benign cysts, but you were speaking earlier about your daughter. This is something that it's not over.
It's not ever over. No, if there's a cold, if there's a sniffle, if there's a lung nodule, you know, they've got to investigate it to the fullest extent for those of us who have been through it.
And for people that are out there and wanting to walk tomorrow, and for you, you know, and your daughter is going to be out there supporting you, and obviously there are concerns for her as well, but
there are. She's we've had a lot of genetic testing, and so we know what age we're supposed to start looking for her, but of course she was 8 when I was diagnosed. So, you know, that is not an easy thing for her to grapple with. I do remember the day I found out. I just came home and I said, so Mommy has cancer, but I'm not going to die. And I thought those were the important things that she needed to know in that moment, because everyone has a story. Anytime you mention that you have cancer, unfortunately, someone says, My aunt died. My grandmother died.
Yeah.
And what, like I said, got a lot of young girls now. It's way too many young girls.
Avon 39.
They are
Chase
the best.
Palm Park, 6:30 tomorrow.
They are the best, and you can still donate. You can still give.
Of course.
And if you go to the website avon39.org, you can be a part of making a change for everybody's daughter.
So, goosebumps. So inspiring. Thank
Come
you, Leigh,
out.
for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Fox. We appreciate it.